My practice, I think of my set practice as sex work adjacent, because there's no genital or anal touch in my practice. So my sessions can be extremely intimate, they can be extremely vulnerable, they can be extremely erotic, but there's just no genital or anal touching. And so that's why I say like sex work adjacent. But one of the things that I have found is that if you want to find people who are truly looking for something outside of themselves to feel complete, and who are in stages of their life that are like in deep sort of transition or deep, like crisis or feeling unsure of themselves, uh, go and be on sex worker sites. Right, these are people who are looking like for companionship, or they're looking for intimacy, or they're for something they don't have in their life they can't find organically, and so they're looking for external support. And so I started my practice, I started growing my practice by advertising on sex worker sites, and it honestly just like blew up from there. And so that's one of the ways that I advertise. I also I have a website, and I'm building my social media platform. And so I get all of these, and it's surprising how many people will find me just from searching like therapy and kink, or therapy and dominatrix, because no one has, very few people have heard of a therapeutic dominatrix, and these two ideas are not normally like put together. But it's when you hear them, it's just like, oh, right. Yeah. No, no, no. That makes perfect sense. And so a lot of people find me through web searches too. The kind of people who are seeking the support are pretty vast, to be honest. I started my practice wanting to specifically serve men. It's my belief that if after working for a decade in women's health and supporting women in all types of sort of crisis scenarios, again, through rape crisis counseling or abortion or pregnancy options, what I have found is that if you are just supporting women, you're like that work is so powerful and so important. But if you want to get to the root cause, if you want to get to changing policies and systems, you have to be working with men. Like we live in a patriarchal society, and men hold the power. And so what I started doing is moving from women's health and women's like advocacy, and starting to work with men. And so the idea that I originally had was sort of like, okay, like let's like, I'm a babe, right? Like I'm gonna put myself out as a babe and sort of just like come be with a babe, like you like, sexy things. And then it's sort of like sell them what they want and give them what they need. Right. And so supporting men to surrender, supporting men and to feel more intimate, supporting men to feel held and be access their emotions was originally how I started. And now my clientele is extremely diverse. I have trans clients, I have queer female clients, I have queer men clients, I have non-binary. I mean, I just have the whole gamut. And one thing across the board that I found from my clients is that besides they are all looking to change their life. I mean, when people come to me, I'm not cheap, right? So when people come to me, they are really ready for something different. Because this is not light work that I do with people. This is truly like digging deep into the things that hurt and finding how we can move, transform, or find pleasure in that pain. So besides that, another thing is I find a lot of clients who come to me because they're sort of like done with talk therapy. They have done 10 years of talk therapy, or they've done sort of all these other types of forms of healing, and nothing is working. This is a way to step into and experience a world that is unlike any that they could have ever imagined. Because in many ways, it's sort of ritualized theater. It's like I become who they need me to be, and they become who they need to be in order to totally rewrite and reprogram the patterns that are keeping them numb and small and a little dead inside.